Welcome back. The secret key to self-control for weight loss is not what you'd expect. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why delayed gratification is not the key to reaching your goals. Now, welcome. It's early January 2025. You probably have a whole bunch of New Year's resolutions and big goals. And whenever you're watching this channel, whenever you get around to trying to figure out your self-control, you're looking for something bigger. So congrats on that, whether that's, health, wealth, relationships, anything like that that's going to make your life better. I'm all for it. And that's what I'm talking about here at Fit for Freelance. All right. And then in this video, I'm going to go over what everyone gets wrong about delayed gratification so you don't get stuck, caught up doing the same thing every year. And the first step to building self-control so you lose weight without all or nothing diets and finally take confident ownership of the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. How does that sound? Welcome. My name is Reggie. I'm the founder of Fit for Freelance, where I build adaptive business leaders through compassionate health coaching. The guilt-free game plan practice is all about using awareness and feedback to stay on track. And when you're talking about practice, you have to understand how you make decisions based on what you value as you build the vision for the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. So not what someone else is telling you to do, not what your favorite entrepreneur or influencer is saying, all that stuff. It doesn't matter. It's just about your vision for the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. So you have to know what that looks like, what you have to focus on, what you need to practice in order to make that become the life of your dreams. All right, link below, I have the 90-day jumpstart. It's a step-by-step approach that will help you build a healthier, stronger, and more balanced lifestyle that lasts way beyond the new year. That is in the description below on YouTube. Let's get into today's topic. Alex Hormozi, everyone's favorite, on YouTube. He has a new video out. It's linked below. Basically what he says, I had some serious issues with it immediately. This is an uncomfortable fact for a lot of people. This is what he was saying. Your ability to delay gratification is actually a function of intelligence. And he goes on to make an example from primates all the way up. The sign of intelligence is that a being can expand a reinforced window and still abstract it back to the original action. If you want to practice intelligence, then being able to actively delay your need for a result or reward from the work you do will make you a more intelligent person because your rate of learning will actually increase, despite the fact that your reward weight will decrease in the short term. So click like if you heard that or if you relate to that. You're not the only one who thinks that. He's not the only one that thinks that. And that's why it sounds so cool when he says he's so smooth with it. He's got his deep voice and his beard and people look up to him. And it makes sense when you hear him say that. However, that's not how behavior typically works. And I want to break down a process in this delayed gratification thought that'll get you to think differently about how you make choices for better health, wealth, and business, a healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. Now, to give him credit, he's probably speaking from his own experience, what works for him. That's cool. That's what YouTube's all about. That's what social media is all about, is just being yourself, And then, however, on the other hand, he's probably overstating his understanding or what he's heard and perhaps challenging the listener to feel more compelled to do what they need to do in order to reach your goals. Now, my understanding is a little different. I've got a graduate certificate in positive behavior support from University of South Florida. So I look at these kinds of behavior challenges when they come up, and I like to help people understand how their behaviors contribute to the life that they want to live. So from my perspective, perhaps using the process of how to get what you want is intelligence, and the results are validating, but the pathway is different. So it doesn't make you smart to delay gratification. In my opinion, is actually you are leaving out a key understanding of the process, and that's holding you back from actually using the process effectively or adopting it if you're not already skilled at it like he is. All right, so to go a little further, it seems like he personally associates not being able to delay gratification with unintelligence or like feeling stupid or something like that. And a lot of people relate to that. See if you can connect with this idea that like if you aren't able to delay your gratification, then you feel guilty. You feel like something's wrong with you. You feel like you're stupid, like you're not good enough, like you can't figure it out, like everything goes wrong for you. Those kinds of things. Click like if you can relate to that. And so this happens all the time when people are trying to make new changes, shift their habits, and they mess up. There's a common mistake that happens, and then you personally attribute it to you being stupid. And that's what we don't want. That's why I'm making this video today, because I'm all about compassionate health coaching. So a counterexample of that is, don't you know really smart people who struggle with the same goals as you? Think about that. And are you really smart, right? So if you have a weight loss goal, do you know anyone who's really smart but struggles to lose weight? Or if you are trying to grow your business, do you know anyone who has a big successful business but they are challenged with some other element? Or they're still smart, but that's not the thing holding them back. Right. So don't you know people who can do these things or do other things, are really smart, but they're not able to reach every goal they set. So that really illustrates it's not a factor of intelligence. All right. So oh, lost my place. That is terrible because I've got a lot of information here. Oh boy. All right. So another thing, I'll have to edit that out later. Fact check. Does the rate of learning increase? He kind of slid that in there when he was talking about it. The reward your rate of learning will increase despite the reward weight will decrease in the short term. That does not supported by what he's saying at all, and that's confusing. It might help you focus more if you're locked into your goals and what you're trying to do more often, but it doesn't necessarily increase the rate of learning. So that is something to consider when you're listening to people and it sounds like they know what they talk about. They might not know what they're talking about, or it might be a little bit outside of their range. So, what most people get wrong, this is a fallacy. They've judged success as intelligence and correlate it with hard work. This is post hoc correlation is not causation. So you think that these smart people are working hard all the time, and that's why they're so successful. But it's more like they are persisting, they are sticking in with what they're trying to do. They're prepared and positioned for breakthroughs, stacking progress brick by brick until they reach the long-term result. And then they get the long term consequence of focusing on projects as success. And then after many weeks, months, and years, all that, it clicks at one point. But that's not necessarily intelligence, that's persistence, that's overcoming challenges, that is surpassing your failures. This is reworking, staying adaptive, those kinds of things. And that's what makes these long term outcomes happen for many people, not strictly intelligence. And that's something I want to highlight a little bit more for you is that it's behavior, not intelligence. Projected long term consequences are not rewarding. So when you're trying to think now of your plans that you want by the end of this year or in the next 5 years, 10 years, however long you're thinking, if you don't get immediate success, then you're probably going to feel demotivated if you're thinking like that. And so it's kind of twisted, misunderstanding, something like that, when you think that delaying your gratification is the smart way to make that happen. And that's why people suck at saving for retirement. The habits that support their weight loss. So if you've had New Year's resolutions before, if you try to lose weight before, you struggled with it, climate protection policy, right? It's not because we're stupid. It's because we are fallacious and not necessarily compassionate or thoughtful of the process that goes into these kinds of changes. So let's get a little further into this. Oh, one more thing to point out that there's a study linked below on YouTube, rebranding exercise. People who exercise in this study, they did it to achieve healthy aging, quality of life, current health, and appearance or weight goals. And the study found that people with quality of life goals did more exercise than those with current health and healthy aging goals. So that's a big thing when you think about long-term behavior change is not about waiting for, I want to live healthier, so I need to exercise today, I need to eat healthy today, or, I want to be healthier when I'm older, or I'm doing this so I can fix my blood pressure, right? Those things don't have the biggest impact on whether you follow through on your behaviors. It's your current quality of life and how you can shorten that consequence time instead of delaying gratification. So click like if that makes sense. We're going to go in a little bit further here. All right. So when you're talking about practice, I mentioned this at the top, you have to understand how you make the decisions and based on what you value. So here's how to build self-control so you reach your goals, whether that's weight loss, business success, making and saving money, relationships, any goal you have. Here's how you build a self-control, motivation, the discipline you need to follow through with it. And it starts with this picture here. All right, so this is an overview of how people make decisions, basically. So you have your cue, your routine, and your reward. The routine is like a behavior, and then you get feedback on whether that behavior was effective for the situation. So, what I like to do is call this antecedents, behaviors, and consequences. So, antecedents is basically like the beginning or the environment that you're in. The behavior is the choice that you make in that situation. And then the consequence is what result you get. So, if you are hungry, that is the antecedent. You eat something and then your food is satisfying. That's the consequence. That's a brief summary of it. I can talk all about it on our one on one coaching calls. All right. But two things to know about this system. One, beliefs are antecedents. We explore your beliefs in the vision and focus exercise in the guilt free game plan so you understand how they work and how they fit into your life. Mostly identifying clearly what the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams looks like. And another thing to know, the further / later the consequence is from behavior, the less the consequence reinforces or punishes the behavior. Right. So, an example I made for you, if your dog destroys stuff when you're at home, you can stop him, put him in timeout, and he learns not to destroy stuff at home. That's an immediate consequence. He's like, oh, well, that's what happens when I do that. So, I'm going to do that less. Right. But if your dog chewed stuff 10 minutes after you left, but you come back home 8 hours later and you start yelling at your dog is just going to be confused. And he might even associate you coming home with you yelling at him and not necessarily him chewing stuff up. So that's two examples. One is a more distant consequence and how that doesn't impact the behavior or make it more or less likely to occur. It's an example of delayed gratification. In a way, delayed punishment. All right, so let's go a little further into this. There's a scenario where Mr. Hormozy believes smart people delay gratification. When friends ask him to go out, he wants to believe he's smart. That's the antecedent. That's the environment that is setting the context for his behavior choice. Now, pay attention to this. So his behavior is to do what he believes smart people do, which is stay in and focus on his projects, whatever work he has going on. And so the delayed gratification, long-term consequence is that he accomplishes his goal. Everyone thinks that's great. His hard work pays off. What a guy. We all love him. Super example, all that stuff, right? And then he ends up saying something that doesn't really make sense. But that's the delayed gratification. The problem is this won't motivate most people. Let me know if that's you. If this kind of long-term thinking or feeling like you have to do something in a smart way is effective. Now, I know this isn't going to help most people because this is delayed gratification, delayed consequence, and it's not reinforcing for behaviors. Kind of like that dog example I gave you here. Most people instead will think, I'll worry about reaching that goal later because I don't want to miss out. It's a special occasion. Someone's in town, all the kind of excuses that you make. I want to feel accepted by my friends. I don't want to get made fun of. I want to like eat this, like all those kinds of things pop up. And it's a reasonable decision at that point for that individual, for you. And it's nearly impossible to get them not to go out because it's the smartest thing for you to do. If you value quality time with friends, having fun, being normal, like any of that kind of stuff, fitting into your like a group, your social group, all that stuff, then it makes a lot of sense. It's actually a smart choice. It's one of the smart choices you can make. It's just a short-term consequence. And you'd even feel dumb for not doing it. Like if you stayed home, was like, nah, I'm going to stay in, but you didn't have clear values on how you were weighing things, then you would feel bad for not going out or hanging out with friends and doing other stuff. So let me know if that's making sense to you. While you're doing this, you're fully enjoying the experience. You feel great about it. Someone might even say, see, you almost missed this. Or you say like to yourself, like, man, I'm so glad I went out and had that. I'm having a great time. I didn't miss out on this. And that can cause you to enjoy it even more. And that's really rewarding when you do that, when you feel good about your choices that you've made while you're making them. And it's not until much later or after many times of doing this, neglecting the choices that you felt stupid or guilty or not good enough, or you're not getting the results, right? Like at the end of the year and you do your checklist, like, did I do this? No, because I wasn't trying or I was doing other things. I was having more fun going out with friends. Or if you're trying to lose weight, I kept skipping my meal plan or diet or meal prepping stuff because I thought it'd be better to do something else, right? And then you don't get the results because you haven't done the thing to get the results. So that's what happens over time, but it's not until much later. It's not really when you're making that decision. That's a delayed consequence of your choice. And that is a recurring lesson here. But here, Alex thinks he's doing one thing, but what he's probably actually doing is enjoying the immediate consequence of being congruent. And this is the big lesson here. If he stays in, he's working on his projects, instead of going out with friends or doing other things, he believes he is being smart immediately. There's no delayed gratification for that. He enjoys that feeling of probably superiority. Like maybe my friends are all doing other things and I'm staying in doing what I love, right? Or the instant belief that delaying gratification is the right thing to do presently. It's not delayed gratification if you're thinking you're doing the right thing right now. You can admit that the right thing right now is challenging to do, is not necessarily easy, but that doesn't take it away from the present moment, how you're feeling about it. So he's doing this immediately. It has immediate consequence. And then over time, it adds up. Now, you know, he's doing this immediately because in that video, and anytime you hear him talk, it's because he seems to value the success of his businesses over many friendships, experiences fitting in. He doesn't care what people think about him. He wants to do what he wants. He loves driving his business goals and all that stuff. Now, see if you can relate to this when it comes to your health and how you're weighing your health relative to your other commitments, projects, hobbies, all that stuff. Or same with your businesses. This immediate consequence based on clear vision and values is what keeps him motivated again and again until he gets the results that he wants. And this, when you have clear vision, the mission vision and focus, the values, understanding what you want, then you can understand like, hey, these little minor setbacks, these short-term events that come up, none of that is more important than what I want for myself going forward, like in the next 3 months or in the next year or the next 3 years, right? So, and then like if something goes wrong with any of that, say it's a weight loss goal, if you have a tough week on something or you don't understand how to eat healthier when you go out to dinner with friends, then you will find more ways. You'll stick in there longer. And that's how you get that long term consequences, your persistence and practice, awareness and feedback, all the things I talk about in the Guilt Free Game Plan. Understanding that your consequences are immediate when you focus on the process as you do the things. That short term quality of life, rewarding feeling of following through, being congruent with what you think you should be doing to lead a healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. All right. So then that's the immediate consequence. You feel good when you're doing that stuff. And then later, when he gets results, he attributes it to being smart and delaying gratification, but it's a system that he has set up for himself. He understands that focusing on the process instead of the outcomes is what makes a difference, or having the outcome be so big that is more important than the short-term distractions that you can be participating in, right? These are two different ways to approach it, but it's really about focusing on you now, who you need to be in order to get the results you want. So that's what I say here. It's about identity and being the person. Being the person, you have to shift your belief of who you are, what you do. Be the person who does the things, the activities, the behaviors, the choices to have the results that you want. Be, do, have. A lot of times people want something, they want to have something, and they try to do a bunch of things, but they haven't shifted their beliefs on who they are fundamentally. And then they can't follow through because they have conflicts, they have dilemmas. They want to do one thing, but they think they're supposed to be doing another thing, right? When you are being the person who does the things, then you have the results that you want. This is the secret to self-control, discipline, motivation, leading to healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams, taking confident ownership of your path to freedom and fitness, all that stuff that you think that you don't have, that you believe is keeping you from the results that you want. So if you've ever struggled with something, with weight loss or any kind of long-term project, then you just want to think differently about how you approach it and focus on the vision, focus on practice, being the person who does the things that has the results. If you want compassionate help understanding your behavior so you build the self-control and lose weight without all or nothing diets, book a free call below. I'd love to help you understand this process because a lot of people mess that up and it's not easy. You have to think about it. And a lot of people don't take the time to think, but if you have a coach guiding you through the process so you understand how it works or what happened, giving you real feedback on real situations that are affecting you in your real life, let me help you because it's not hard. Like you can do it if you know where to focus and you know what the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams looks like. I also have that 90-day jumpstart, the habit tracker below. Makes it easy to track. And then next, you can watch, wondering if you need a health coach. What does health coach do? I'll put that video right here. So let me know what you think in the comments, a little bit in depth, but I want you to think differently about your health and your goals going into 2025 and beyond. As always, keep practicing. Peace.